By the end of this video, you're going to become a master at drawing support and resistance line for every cryptocurrency out there. Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sarah, and on this channel I teach how to trade and invest in cryptocurrency. I also talk about personal development and so much more. If you're interested in any of these topics and you'd like to see more of it, then make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on your notification bell to stay updated for my next video. For today's video, I'm going to be talking about support and resistance line. I want to show you guys how to draw support and resistance line the right way. Being able to draw support and resistance line is one of the most important skills you can ever have as a trader, because this is how the market moves. The market is either going towards the support or it is heading towards the resistance. And if you can draw these lines correctly, it's going to help you to know exactly when to enter the market and when to exit the market. So you want to be able to master this skill. Like, if you can master this skill, then trust me, you're going to be able to easily start making profitable trades. I'll share with you guys my screen, and we're going to look at the chart for Bitcoin, and I'll walk you guys through every single thing that is involved when you are drawing support and resistance. I promise you guys, I'm going to try to make this as easy and simple as possible. I'll try to make it very easy to understand for you guys, because I want you guys to get this. I want you guys to really get this, because I know it's going to help you to become a better trader. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So like I said, being able to correctly draw the support and resistance level for Bitcoin or any other crypto is going to help you to become a better trader, as you will know exactly when to enter and exit the market. Support and resistance is the path the market moves on. The price is either going up towards the resistance, or it's either going down towards the support. The battle is it has to either break the support or it has to break the resistance. Once the price has gone over a support enough time, it's going to eventually break that support. And once a price has gone over or has visited a resistance level enough time, eventually it's going to break that resistance. So you want to keep track of that. If you notice that the price has gone over a supported area multiple times, and then you notice that it's going back to that supported area again, you should be very careful to not long at that time, because most likely it might break that support, and that support will no longer be strong enough to bring the price back up. It is the same thing with a resistance. Now, there are two types of support and resistance. The first one is horizontal. Yeah, so horizontal is going, like that. And then the other one is vertical support and resistance. So we can identify a vertical support and resistance line when we are in a sort of a trend. Say if the price is in a trend, like say an uptrend or a downtrend, and you're able to draw a line connecting these higher highs or lower lows together, then you can be able to identify a vertical support and resistance. So you would basically draw one line connecting the bottom part of the candles, and then another line connecting the top part of the candles. So a vertical support and resistance line would look something like this. See, I drew one line there and another line like this. This is a vertical support and resistance line. It's not going horizontal, it's going this way. It's kind of going like a staircase pattern. That's basically it. So this area here, the bottom part, would be known as the support, right? This line here would be known as the support, and this top line here would be known as the resistance. This is a vertical support and resistance line. Now, horizontal support and resistance line looks something like this. If I draw this line, in fact, I already have one line. I already have these two lines drawn, so you can just look. So this is horizontal support and resistance. So this bottom part here would be the support, and then the top here would be the resistance. You understand? Being able to identify horizontal support and resistance line is usually pretty easy. However, to identify a vertical support and resistance line can be a bit challenging, as you have to wait for the candlestick to form a pattern, either a rising wedge or a falling wedge or a trend. Once these patterns form, that's when you'll be able to basically see the vertical support and resistance line. So I'm going to repeat this again. This is things you have to remember that will help you to avoid entering the trades at the wrong time. So you need to remember this. Once the price has hit a support or resistance level enough time, eventually a breakout is what follows. Now, another thing to note, a previous resistance line becomes the new support. So if a price has broken a resistance level, that resistance level will now become the new support. If the price ever tries to go down again, it's going to use that resistance level as a support. So it will try not to go lower than that. Same thing with support. If a price has broken down the support, then that previous support now becomes the new resistance. That means if the price has closing below that support, if the price tries to go back up again, it's going to get rejected because that support that it broke is now the new resistance, and now price has to consolidate for a while before it can go and try to actually break that resistance. When you are drawing support and resistance line, you want to start out by observing and analyzing the bigger time frame first. Then you move down to the smaller time frame. This is called multiple time frame analysis. On TradingView here, you can observe multiple time frame by hovering to the top here on the left. Click on that, and then you can see all the time frame available. Now the bigger time frames includes 1 month, 1 week, 1 day. Those are bigger time frames. Smaller time frames includes 4 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes, up to 1 minute. These are shorter time frames. If you are a day trader, normally you want to base your analysis by looking at the smaller time frame, right? You want to draw your support and resistance line through the smaller time frame. And if you are a swing trader, meaning that you stay in the trade for a longer period of time, then you basically do your analysis by looking at the bigger time frame, as the bigger time frame will help you to make more profit. But a smaller time frame, you're only looking for short-term trading opportunities. So I'll show you exactly what I mean. So here's another thing to keep in mind. Even if you're doing your analysis based on the smaller time frame because you want to trade for short term, you still want to have an idea of what the bigger time frame is looking like. You want to have a picture of what the bigger time is showing you, because the market always obeys what the bigger time frame is doing. So let's say if you do your analysis on the bigger time frame, say let's say such as the 1 week time frame, right? You draw your support and resistance line. Say you draw support resistance line on the weekly time frame, and then now you go to the 1 day time frame. On the 1 day time frame, you're able to spot another support and resistance line, and that support and resistance line that you found on the 1 day time frame is not the same as the support and resistance line on the 1 week time frame. Now when you are placing your trade, you got to be mindful of the bigger time frame support and resistance line. So let's say on the bigger time frame you drew your support and resistance line, right? And let's say that the price breaks the resistance line on the 1 day time frame. And as the price has broken that resistance line, it's now going up, right? That's what you expect. However, as it is going up, on the weekly time frame, there's a resistance area that you drew on the bigger time frame, right? Now, when the price is going up, if it comes in contact with the weekly time frame resistance area, it's going to get rejected pretty bad, because that is the bigger time frame support and resistance line. So you got to be mindful of that, right? I'll show you an example of what I mean so you can really understand this. Okay, let's do a couple examples. So I'll go on the weekly time frame, okay? And I want to show you guys how to draw support and resistance line first. If you want to draw support and resistance line, before you can draw your line, you want to see multiple candles. Let's start out with the support. So if you want to draw your support and support levels line, you need to see multiple candles hitting a certain price point multiple times. If it has done that multiple times, then you can qualify that area as a support. So if you keep seeing candles going down to a certain price point, and then every time it goes to that price point, it bounces back from it. It has done that a few times, say at least 2 to 3 candles, then you can confirm that area as a support, and you would draw your line there. So on this area here, let's imagine that these candles here did not exist, and we're just looking at this data here from here to here. So when I saw this, I see this candle here, it goes let's start with this one here. I see this one, it went down, but then it pulled back up. It left this long wick right there, okay? And then the next candle, which was the red one, goes, and it actually goes down, but it doesn't go as low as that. It just bounces back from there. And then the third one, same thing. As you can see that the chart is telling us that people does not want the price to go lower than this area here. So you can safely assume that that area is actually a supported area, and you can draw your line. Now when you're drawing support and resistance line, you want to draw them out as a zone. Don't just draw them as a single line, because sometimes the market can go below that line or go above that line that you drew as a, say, support or resistance line, but then afterward it's going to end up closing above that line to respect it as a support or resistance line. So that's why you want to draw your support and resistance line as a zone and not as a single line. And how you can draw them as a zone is basically, so for the support, you would want to look at the two lowest full body candle, and then you draw a line there. So in this case, I would draw the line from this here, right? I'm going to make this bigger a little. So I would draw I'll draw the line like right here, and then the next line you want to draw is draw your line from the lowest wick. Okay, this is for support. We're drawing the zone for the support here. So the lowest wick in this case would be this one here, right? And so I would draw my line right there on that wick, touching it exactly. Now we have a zone there for the support. Now let's move on to the resistance. Now you can identify a resistance by seeing the price rejecting to go up to a certain price multiple times. If you have seen at least 2 to 3 candles that keeps rejecting to go higher than that certain price, then you can assume that that is a resistance area. Now when you want to draw the zone, it is the same thing as the support. You want to look at the two highest full body candle and you draw your line there. So in this case, we can see that these two here are the two full highest body candle, right? So we draw your line there, and then you want to look at the longest wick, and in this case it will be this one. So I'll draw my line there. Let me do that right now. Draw my line right there. Okay, and then the other line, we draw it from the longest wick, which is right there. Okay, so as you can see, this is the resistance area on this weekly time frame. Now you can easily see the future candles that get formed, they're actually supporting these lines that I've drawn here. So you can see on the supported area here, these candles here, they came around this supported area and they bounced away from it. So that means that this is actually a valid supported area. And for the resistance, same thing. You see the price came up to this area, this zone here that I drew, it rejected it. Another time it tried, it rejected it badly, and then now the price just started going down. This is the current weekly candle, which is about to close very soon here. There's only 3 hours and 8 minutes left for this weekly candle to close. Now, whenever a price rejects a resistance area, it's going to go back down. Sometimes it can go down all the way to the support, or sometimes it will just go down a little and then it starts going back up. It depends on the time frame. Sometimes there are smaller time frames that have built enough support for the price that if the price gets rejected on the weekly time frame, right, it gets rejected, it's going to find support on the smaller time frame and then re-go to test that resistance area again. So that's how it is. Now, this is the support and resistance line that I have drawn on the weekly time frame. Now remember what I told you. When you draw your support and resistance line, if you're trading based on the smaller time frame, you want to always keep in mind of what the support and resistance line is on the bigger time frame. So this is the bigger time frame support and resistance line that I've drawn. Let me assume that I wanted to trade. I'm looking for a quick trading opportunity and I'm going to observe the smaller time frame, such as the 1 hour time frame, right? So I go to the smaller time frame, and now before I place my trade, I want to look for the support and resistance line on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. Like I said, you want to look for candles that have gone to a certain price multiple times. Okay, so we're going to start out by drawing the support and resistance line first. Let's look at this area. So let's say if we wanted to trade just based on this area here, so we can see here, I can easily say that this is a supported area because the price went down here and then it didn't go lower than that, and then this candle, same thing, it went, and then this is the lowest it went, was just, you know, like about right here, and then this here, same thing, another one. So I can confidently say that this is a supported area for this particular time frame. Okay, this is just for a short period of time. That is support. Remember the two lowest full body candle, I drew the line there, and we want to draw another line from the wick. So we draw another line right there. Okay, we draw a line. So this is the zone for the supported area on the 1 hour time frame, and now we want to look for the resistance line, and I can clearly see that this one here, right here, is the resistance. And how do I know that? Because I see multiple candles going to that area and then it just keeps getting rejected there. So now I know that, okay, this area seems to be a resistance, so I will draw a line right there. Look for the two full highest body candle, you draw a line there, and I draw another line from the highest wick right there. Okay, so now I know, okay, this is the resistance area for this time frame at this time. Okay, this is the resistance area. Now I can place my trades based on this analysis right here. Now, how you want to trade this is you want to long when the price goes to the support, right? Whenever the price goes to the support, this is when you want to long the market. You want to go to whatever exchange you trade on, Binance, Bybit, you place your long there. And if the price is at the resistance area, you want to short the market. You do that until eventually it either breaks the resistance or it breaks the support. Okay, so let's assume that I'm trading and then I see that, okay, the price has finally broken this resistance area here on the 1 hour time frame. Now what's gonna happen next? Obviously it's gonna start going up, right? Okay, it's going up, and let's say once it has broken this resistance line, you place your long and then you ride it along. Now what's gonna happen? When is the price gonna stop next? So if I zoom out here, we can see this blue line. Remember this blue line I drew on the weekly time frame, right? What is that blue line? Well, let's zoom out to really see if it's the support or resistance. So if I zoom out, I can now see that this line here, these two lines are actually the resistance that we drew on the weekly time frame. These are the resistance line that we drew. And then if I go down here, I can see that this is the supported area. So if I see that the price has broken the resistance on this 1 hour time frame, I know now that it's heading up. Now, gotta keep in mind it's heading towards the weekly time frame resistance area. That means if you were trying to take profit, I would take my profit below this line just in case it gets rejected and then it starts falling down again. So you got to keep in mind the bigger time frame always has the final say, and then even though it has broken this resistance line on the 1 hour time frame, it is heading towards the resistance on the weekly time frame, which is very big and it has the final say. So you would have to stay safe when you are trading like that. And then that is basically it, guys. That is basically it. So this support and resistance line would be valid for only a short period of time, but the bigger time frame support and resistance line is valid for a longer period of time because the market always obeys the bigger time frame support and resistance. Few things to remember. The market always obeys the bigger time frame support and resistance line. So before you start analyzing the market, you want to do multiple time frame analysis. That is observing the market from the bigger time frame all the way down to the smaller time frame. Bigger time frame includes weekly, daily, and monthly. Those are bigger time frame, and a smaller time frame starts from 4 hour, 3 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour, 30 minutes, all the way to 1 minute. And yeah, when you are trading based on a smaller time frame, you want to be mindful of the support and resistance line on the bigger time frame. Vertical support and resistance line, I want to show you guys how to identify vertical support and resistance line, but I will make another video for this because I want to keep this one short so that you can digest this information more effectively. Okay guys, I'm gonna end it here for today. If you find this video helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you like to learn more on trading, crypto, and investing in crypto, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're not yet subscribed. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you guys for supporting this channel, and my goal is to continue to provide more value to you guys so that you can achieve financial freedom and become the best version of yourself. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.